The core strategies that you can see in active learning are like this. Student engagement. The students are involved in co-constructing teaching and learning processes with their teacher and amongst themselves. They do things and thinking about what they're doing. And they're working together in groups or pairs to discuss concepts, solve problems, or work in projects. It involves a collaborative approach, which encourages the exchange of ideas and peer learning. And these students then become what we call active agents in co-creating the learning pathways and solutions, and have the opportunities to strengthen their student agency, taking responsibility, their efficacy, nurturing their self-belief that they can actually manage to do certain ways in the learning processes. Now, for some academics, this is called the construction of understanding ecosystem. And an example is Think, Pair, Share, in which students are introduced to a topic, they share their thoughts on how to approach it in teams, and then they bring their ideas to the teacher in the class. Now, another issue relates to feedback. Active learning often incorporates immediate feedback on what has been done on students' understanding and performance, often in the form of feed forward, what can be done next. This can come from the professor, it can come from the peers, other students, or it can be done through self-assessment. It can help the students to identify what they need to do to improve their learning of a specific topic. Feedback and feed forward are key and very typically seen and very important in successful active learning. Now, another issue is higher order thinking. Active learning tasks often require students to engage in higher order demanding thinking skills such as analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and application of knowledge rather than simply memorizing facts. An example is where students participate in simulations that mimic real-world processes or systems and share ideas on approaching the subject from different academic perspectives. Diverse activities can be seen in active learning sessions where a whole load of different types of activities, discussions, case studies, simulations, role-playing, problem-based learning, peer teaching, and interactive demonstrations, amongst others, are used. And one example is where students create case studies to apply the theoretical knowledge that they've learned to design practical solutions. Student-centeredness is key to active learning environments. It's where the teacher shifts from being the primary source of information to becoming a facilitator of the learning, guiding and supporting the students as they explore and construct their own understanding, often with the help of other students and often through searching through the internet. One example is where the students prepare a teaching session on a topic and then actually pre-teach it before the professor takes over to fill in the gaps or to solve issues. Self-awareness is a key issue here because students need to develop their own responsibility for learning and not just be passive recipients, and what we call credit hunters during the learning processes. So it's a key issue here is that the students are respected and appreciated and recognized as core to being contributors to the learning activities. Now, adaptability and adjustment is key to active learning because students often need to apply different strategies to solve different problems, to discuss concepts, or to complete projects. And this involves assessing the effectiveness of their own strategies, of their team strategies, and adjusting their approach based on the feedback and outcomes they observe. So this is an issue of developing adaptability, and they will not be able to do that if they weren't using or learning through active learning techniques. So there are a range of strategies. I haven't mentioned the AI, which is a whole new ballgame in terms of tools that can be used by the students and by the professors in developing active learning sessions. But at the core, what we're talking about is this. What we do is we identify what is the intended learning outcome that we want all of our students to reach, to achieve by the end of a teaching or learning session. And then what do I need to give my students in order to help them navigate successfully their own way towards that intended learning outcome, and how can I help them do that? And that covers a whole range of different strategies that can be used to make active learning not just a methodology, and certainly not a gimmick, but actually something that is profoundly positive and successful in enhancing learning opportunities for all students.